Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy!
Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi, right?
I love her nicknames.
Yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
I mean, Disneyland Jack is seriously scary, but still. I can't let her get to me. Cause Taka had the piece of torn note in his pants, his hand, not pants. Oh, hi Joko, how are you? Hi Taka, hi Sakura. Wait, no. Sayaka. My bad. Okay, you need glasses.
Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
Yeah, I didn't think I got that right.
Shoot!
I jumped to conclusions. I didn't need to do Hopi. I didn't need to do that.
But remember what time did it say to meet?
6 a.m.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
Okay.
Huffy had the note right, and the person it was must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say?
6 a.m.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
Damn it.
Shoot! Huffy had the note right, then the person it was must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say?
6 a.m.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
It's very difficult. See, what happened at 6 a.m.? So I need to clear up.
Huffy had the note right, then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
I'm just going out on a limb here. I have no idea what's going on.
But remember what the note said.
I didn't think so. Okay.
Shoot! Huffy had the note right, then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
That doesn't help me at all.
Huffy had the note right, then the person it was intended must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
Yeah, I tried.
Right? Then the person it was intended must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said.
Shoot! Huffy had the note right, then the person it was must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say?
6 a.m.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
I think that goes to that one. Unless I've already tried that, because I'm bad at this.
Huffy had the note right, then the person it was must have been Huffy!
But remember what time did it?
6 a.m.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay.
Shoot!
I failed so many times in this. Yeah, whatever you say. Over here, that one.
Is this
I'm not
really
mad or
the end
anything.
for
Don't worry,
all
I'm not
of
getting
us?
mad just yet. This is my own stupidity. I'm just like completely
I refuse to
blind-eyed.
give up yet.
Oh! I didn't know it gave me 3 things.
Huffy had the note right,
Let's
then the
watch.
person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
So the time. It says
But
time.
remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter. The note has nothing to do with TikTok.
Okay, I did get it right. I went out on a blind eye there. I should pay more attention.
There absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the
Oh,
same
yeah.
time Taka was murdered. You've already
Yes, I guess
proven
that makes sense.
using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that. No further objections.
Someone used that note to trick Taka, just the same as me. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster, telling people they found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it?
Stuffed down his pants, no less.
Most likely, Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Where's your proof? Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, I
Show
skipped.
us.
Oh. The thing in Taka's hand. Yeah.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup, they're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive!
Sorry, no.
You're so
When we found him in the
oblivious.
repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead. The second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the mastermind. The
That's
true
what,
killer.
yeah.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together.
Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus.
Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue. So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Then,
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
Or she's kill Hifumi. Picture surrounding the case won't become clear until I figure that out. Somehow, I have to find the truth. Okay. Spotless hammer.
What was used to kill Hifumi?
A spotless hammer.
Was it Justice Hammer 3?
No.
Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
No.
well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
One thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers.
No, that's wrong.
That didn't have to be. I love this
The murder
game.
weapon wasn't a Justice Hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean. And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
Whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him. Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
We work together, at least. Ooh, I have an idea. Spotless hammer. What if they agreed to do it just so they could kill somebody else and get to become the Blackened?
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive.
Oh, sorry, I hit the mic.
Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Based on the rules, even if more
I
than
don't
one
want this anymore.
person is
Get out of here.
complicit in the murder,
Yeah.
only the one who actually, assuming the rule holds true.
Okay, so I think it's...
But that only really, in this case,
However, there were two murders.
Oh, I got it just last second, yes! Okay.
based on the rules that have been, even if more than one person, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive, assuming the rule holds true.
Yeah.
No, it's wrong. Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk,
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime, and based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful. How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
Effort made to convince that two murders were the same. That was Marion characteristic this time. Kyoko must have noticed that fact from the very beginning, which is why she said not to look at as a series connected event, but entirely separate incidents. Kyoko really is amazing, although, if you think about it, she's almost too amazing. Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is at it.
I understand how an accomplice
Maybe she's the ultimate detective.
But then
Maybe that's
who
what she
was
is.
the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now.
The true killer manipulated Hifumi to carry out murder actions and in the end murdered him. If the debates up till now, the way the case has unfolded, when you consider all that, there's only one person who seems to fit. I still think it's Celeste.
Here's my answer.
Oh, I called it!
So I'm the suspicious individual now, am
I?
I
Okay.
really do hate this kind of joke.
Oh, I'm gonna miss doing her voice. I loved her voice.
I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit for brain fat, lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot!
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
What does say Hifumi and Celeste have in common? The screaming! This individual.
I got it!
Yeah.
The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo-Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush, the adults are talking now.
Oh.
Sorry.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said? We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said? Once she'd done her
I'm so proud
job
of myself
getting
right
us
now.
all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
It was to get us to divide into two groups, so that we would discover both bodies at the
Okay.
same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up. Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected. And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the 3rd floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another
Wait,
strange
she's being
thing.
so quiet.
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead, Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't believe it. Everything, the whole thing was one big act.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kind of sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
Really enjoying this sight of us standing around frightened and confused. We're all going to die here. We're all going to die, just like those guys died.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the 4 of us headed to the nurse's office. Now,
Oh,
the
yeah.
entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Byakuya said that Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. What is he alluding to? I love this game. I called it. So happy right now because I called that. Yes. I don't know the tempo. Yeah.
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it, what was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Damn it. You said that she should only have known about Hifumi's death. With that in mind, that's the change about what she said.
All I said was, they must really enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are going to die, just like those guys died.
Okay. I think it's the thing Byakuya says at the ending, and then that one. I think.
All I said was, they must really enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are going to die, and that is.
And that's all it takes. What was so strange about Celeste's
Damn it, I missed it.
All I said, they must really enjoying the sight
I wasn't paying attention.
We are all
Okay.
we are going to die, and that is.
And that's all it takes to finish it. What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Yep. I got this. I know I'm doing. It's kind of. It's rare. It's a rare sight when I know what I'm doing, but when I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm doing.
Really enjoying the sight of us. They must be positive. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those.
Oh! Monokuma, how you doing?
That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations.
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
It has to be some kind of setup, right? So let's put the suit on. And then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
No.
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
Other explanations? Okay, if it wasn't a picture of the suspect being dragged away, but Hifumi being dragged away, the only other possibility is I've been drinking. So we are dancing.
I got it!
What?
It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility.
How?
The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Such thinks she can prove that there's no way Hifumi was dragged away. Dragging away the suspect away. Is that really possible? I love this game. I've said that like a lot of times. Okay, really fast game. Let's see your message. I'm gonna go through it all first and see what's up.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out. Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Then the fortune-telling idiot is the culprit after all!
No way!
Okay, what does Makoto have to say about this? Give me a hint. Remember right, Hina said he had been at the waist. Okay, yeah. I think I know what I'm doing.
You tried to make me look
Like I said, as you can see in the picture, if the person inside the suit, there's no way they could stand up straight.
Yeah.
No, it's wrong.
Thought so. See, I'm sometimes good at this game.
No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that, because that Robo-Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
Yeah.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate?
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate?
Celeste?
Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem.
Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
Who killed me? Yeah, that's right, I remember the name. Yasuhiro.
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not? He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro.
In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Wait, but my name isn't really Yasuhiro. It's actually Taro.
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
Mysterio said people's last names.
I got it!
Yeah, he always said people's last names.
That's right! Our last names! He called us all by our last names!
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name. Indecent?
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No. There's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to, and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What did you just say? To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit! Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you? Well...
Oh my god.
What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up!
My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
Celeste won't give up, so then I have to do something to make her accept it. We're going to do this thing again. Oh no, okay. E-handbook. Yeah, she has to show us her e-handbook.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something.
Ah,
He
Kyoko,
wanted
you're so
us to know
smart.
the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
How many times do I have to tell you? My name is... Celestia Ludenberg! God damn it!
It's upside down.
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me,
No, it's wrong.
Show us your e-handbook. God, Kyoko, so smart. Good job, Kyoko. Ah, you're the one that thought of that.
The handbook.
What?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before.
Yeah.
So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please, just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again.
Yeah.
From the beginning. And shed light on all your crimes. And that'll bring everything to an end.
Okay, so I think I understand this. Closing argument. Okay, yeah, so talking to Hifumi. What? Why is this here? What goes right here? I don't understand what's going on. Oh, there's a bunch more. Wow. Yeah, there's some of these that don't even like are from other stuff. What? What does a bag of chips have to do with this? Act 2. Yeah, it's a hero. Right? No. I'm pressing the wrong buttons. Okay, I'm just going through all these, seeing what's up. Why is there a backpack in here? I don't understand. Okay, so then I'm gonna put Yasuke right here. Oh no, right here. So it goes right here. I don't understand times. Okay, so this is 1 a.m. Yeah, that's the time Taka said, right? I think it said 1 a.m. or 1. So then, Robot Justice. Oh yeah, so then this would be Celeste taking the picture. Act 3, and then it would be this. Taka killed Taka with Justice Hammer 4. That's Justice Hammer 2. Is there Justice Hammer 4 anywhere? Justice Hammer 4. Celeste showed us the picture. Then so we found him in the library with Justice Hammer 3, right? No, Justice Hammer 2. So then, yeah, they went to out of the nurse's office. They went upstairs. He did that. Cheap for me. Okay, so then it would be Justice Hammer 3, right? Okay, hang on. So I think this one is... I'm gonna put Hifumi right here. And then they found both of them dead. No, wrong button. And then they put you right there. And then to end it all... Okay, I'm gonna try this. I don't think I got it right, but...
The killer is you! Before anything...
I don't think I got that one right. Oh, I did! Hey!
Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes.
Hey. Yeah. Hero walked in.
They convinced someone to meet them in the rec room.
Yeah, oh, I skipped it. Oops. We're doing good so far.
Someone they met with was Hero. The murderous duo intended to pass Hero off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him... They drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit. Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room. And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder.
I'm doing good so far.
The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason Hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo-Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1, and the Robo-Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the live. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2, and an injured Hifumi, to sell us that story. With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that. But
Yeah.
while we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found. Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office. And once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act.
Hey, I did get it right.
Their plan
Yeah!
all along was to
All in
kill
one time.
Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is...
Celeste. Yeah!
Celeste! Sorry, you lose.
Woohoo! Yes! I love this game.
Lost? I lost? When was the last time I was forced to utter such words? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no. Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Taiko?
So, you finally
Taika.
accepted it.
I'm the kind of person Once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was... I didn't do so hot. Well, yeah. Well, I didn't do so hot, so... Still got a bunch still got a bunch though, so...
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin. Or, no. I suppose this is the end. Isn't it?
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote. Okay? Okay. If you would, please locate your lever and cast your vote. And when the votes are tallied, who will become the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Ah! I totally called it. I'm so proud of myself right now. Oh my god. I mean, okay, I didn't put all of it together, but I put together that Celeste was the killer. Or the mastermind, because Monokuma said, oh, you gotta find the mastermind, blah, blah, whatever. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's basically a formality at this point, but once again, you're totally correct. The blackened this time, the true killer who devised the whole stinking scheme was... Celestial Ludenberg, or more precisely, Taiko Yasuhiro.
Honestly.
I lost. Well, this sucks. I guess trying to fork with someone else was a mistake after all. Hifumi ineptitude was beyond all my calculations.
I knew it.
So you really did approach Hifumi with this plan. But how did you get him to agree? I can't imagine he could have happily agreed to commit murder. I'm sure he relied on her. I'm sure she relied on her speciality, lying. My speciality? Don't make me laugh. Make me laugh. I didn't have to like to get him to agree.
So then...
Then did you use, you know. I knew you'd figure it out, Kyoko. You're absolutely right. To get Hifumi to act as my accomplice, I used her. For everyone who's still left, I'll avoid me to mentioning my name, but it was the one thing Hifumi and Tako are both super into. Does she mean you're talking about alter ego?
Say what?
What? What are you talking about?
Just a second.
Don't interrupt. We're in the middle of a very important conversation here. I'm totally out of the loop as usual. How sad.
In other words,
You're the one who You're the one who stole it. That stole it.
Indeed.
That's right.
I see.
And you used to drag Hifumi into the plan you come up with. Right again. Last night, after we had our meeting about how I had disappeared, I paid Hifumi a little visit. What are you doing here?
Actually...
I was hoping I could talk to you alone. It was about what was stolen. I know who did it.
What? Are you okay with
It was Taka. He stole it. What?
So
And I have proof. Would you like to see? As it turned out, I found a use for the digital camera. I'd taken you know what to Taka's room earlier and took pictures of it there. I leave the pictures as soon as I showed them to Hifumi, of course.
Damnation!
Darn, so it was him. But how did he do it? She was supposed to yell if either of us got close to her. You are correct, which is why Taka forced me to steal it.
Say what?
What?
As for me...
Please forgive me. He threatened me.
Oh.
He did?
As for me...
He came to my room last night unannounced, and then it's hard for me to even say. He abused me.
What?
And he took pictures. He said if I do not do as he asked, he would show them to everyone. So I had no choice.
Damnation!
That's a crime, an absolute crime. I mean, I knew he'd gone a little crazy, but I never imagined he would go that far. It was amazing how completely he bought it. I can't express how enjoyable that was. I'm about to say something I've never said before in my life. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to fucking kill him.
Most unfortunate.
Wait, please. If you go now, you will be playing right into his hands. Huh?
Actually...
Taka is planning to use her to escape, and he has made you his target.
What?
Escape? You don't mean... Taka is going to try to kill you. What?
Indeed.
And also he can keep her to himself. That bastard. Bastard!
Honestly.
Can we allow him to continue with these barbaric acts? Absolutely not. How could I? She.
I swear!
I have to save her.
Save her!
Actually.
Then would you like to join me? It just so happens I have come up with a plan. Huh? I devised a way to reclaim what he has stolen, and escape this dreadful school. And with that, it is complete. Huh? What are you talking about? Oh, nothing. Hifumi agreed without a second thought. The effect that item had on him was remarkable. The power of love. Even a love as twisted as that can still drive people mad, it would seem. You disgust me.
I see.
I have another question for you. Was it that strange costume Hifumi's creation?
Indeed.
Yeah, it was a real pain in the butt too. All I asked him was to make something to hide the face and general body size. I had no idea he'd make something like that, but it's my fault for picking him in the first place.
But...
So why'd you decide to make me the suspect? Because you're stupid. That's it.
Let's see.
And in that regard, I made the right choice. I'm so glad your stupidity surpassed my every expectation. I pressed the wrong button, I'm sorry. Life must have been tough on your parents, though. I feel like I could cry.
Well,
But when you were explaining your plan to Hifumi, how did you explain the part about him playing dead? What she's asking is, what was Hifumi supposed to do after that, assuming you had actually let him live?
Are you okay with this?
That's simple. After he did his part and pretended to be dead when someone showed up, I told him to say he'd been seriously wounded. He was on the verge of death, but he just barely held on. And he really believed that? Well, of course, that wasn't all there was to it. As I explained to Hifumi, the plan was, while you were all questioning him about what had happened to him, I was going to murder someone else. At that point, Hifumi would have an alibi, so nobody could doubt him. I told him that, and he believed it. It seems very straightforward, stereotypical. I just matched the lie to the level of the opponent. In fact, Hifumi ate it up. He believed that lie would wholeheartedly right up until the moment of his death.
so in the end...
So you had planned to kill him all along. But of course, there would have been no point to my plan if one who pretended to be dead did not end up dead himself.
What the heck?
How can human life mean so little to you?
Well,
That's a non-issue. I simply did everything in my power to win.
Don't be mean!
Now you sound like Byakuya.
I wonder about
No,
that.
no, his derives his pleasure from the thrill of the hunt. In that aspect, we are nothing alike.
Why?
Then, what made you take things so far?
What the heck?
Ah, sneeze. Bleh. I'm sorry. Was it really just for money? Are you talking about the $10 million Monokuma offered us? That is a lot of money, it's true. But that's not all there is to it. From the moment our new life here began, my only thought has been to escape. But all along, you've been saying that how we have to accept living here.
You little
Obviously,
bitch.
that was a lie. Yeah.
Hey!
I couldn't take it. I hated it from day one. More than anyone else in here. I wanted to get out every day. It was fresh torture. And do you know why, huh?
This is fine.
Because I had a dream. Accepting a life here would have meant nothing less than giving up on my dream forever.
Honestly.
And there was no way that I could ever do that. In the underground world of gambling, I risked my life to make a metaphorical killing.
As for me,
And it was for that dream. And what was this dream of
isn't
yours?
it wonderful?
To live in a European castle. Castle? And to gather handsome men from all over the world to serve as my butlers/bodyguards. Wow, I was going to make them dress up like vampires and satisfy my every need. Once I obtained that, I would have created a perfectly aesthetic world of decadence. I'm sorry, I
This is
can't see
fine.
words. Living the rest of my life there was my only dream, my only goal. That's what life is all about. Combined with my own winnings, Monokuma's $10 million would have made that dream a reality. I got right to the edge, but
There is nothing to be done.
unfortunately, my dream has been scattered to the wind. Still, I don't have any regrets. I pursued my dream till the very end, so why would I?
Just the worst.
You sound so passionate, but you were really able to kill your own friends for it?
Oh,
Are you asking me to feel guilty? That's a pointless endeavor. I think nothing of sacrifice. Others for my own ends. I feel nothing.
Do you understand?
That's all there is to me. That's what makes me complete. Isn't it terrifying how different our values are? There's simply no room for understanding.
what is this?
That's what we should be saying. And plus, how can you be so calm? Don't you realize realize you're about to die? Why aren't you scared? My ability to lie is unrivaled, and I take pride in that. It's not just other people. I can even feel my own emotions. The conscious deceives the unconscious. And that's why you're not scared?
Yes, indeed.
That's right. I don't fear death. Kill me however you like. But you know, if I could be reincarnated, if I had a choice, then
Isn't it wonderful?
I think I would like to come back as Mary Antoinette. You just get executed again. Celeste smiled then, and then when she did, it looked to me like a poor effort to force it. She claimed she could fool her own feelings, but that statement itself must have been her final lie. And that weak, fake smile is what portrayed her.
Chills!
You all done? Okay, let's get. Okay, I'm gonna end the episode here, guys. I think it's almost time to go, but thank you guys so much for watching this video. Like to see if you liked it. The execution will be in the next video. Subscribe to become a hopper today, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!